or I even felt like the last game I was in a different room. Yeah, yeah. All right, so yeah, I mean, from an offensive standpoint, obviously a little frustrating. I give you don't play many America East schools that are Ken Palm, the tallest team in the country. So, I actually thought that some of their length, impacted some of the rim finishes that we felt like there was probably 8 to 10 things at the rim we probably should have finished. And then obviously just, didn't shoot it well from three and got some great looks. So hopefully, guys, we could get some of our bigger guns going here. I think, I always think for shooters, it's like, when you're coming off of a bad shooting game or a couple of bad shooting games, you're about to go on a heater. So hopefully, as the schedule is about to shift, we'll get some of these guys, some of our, big time shooters going. But I thought we defensively, did a really good job. Minus, Radovsky in the second half. We screwed up some assignments there, but I thought for the most part, we took away twos. They made some hard threes. We were just brutal shooting the ball tonight, but. I think they're going to win a lot of games in their league. I think they're going to have a good year. They've had a brutal schedule, but you could see there, from where they were in that Georgia Tech game. I think Coach is doing a great job with those guys, and we're on the road at Virginia Tech with a chance, down 5, kind of late in the second half, with a chance to, be in the game. So just kind of happy to get this one over with and get ready for some big games coming up. Yeah, I mean, considering, and I got to thank our fans. I mean, 6 o'clock Sunday night. I was like, I don't think I've ever played a 6. Well, no, I played a 6 o'clock, I think, Sunday night, but it was like around the 32 game in Brooklyn or something. Didn't we play like a later game on Sunday? It was just, and I know it's TV and an arena, and that was on True TV or TNT or something. And so I'll say this too: just TNT and True TV. I love what they're doing for college basketball. Like they've got like legitimate like studio shows with some like, and I don't know if those guys are trashing me, but because I'm not. But so I'll walk that back if they're attacking me. But it's like I think they're doing a great job covering the sport. They're talking to players post game on the court, and I love how they're covering the game. But I got to thank our fans for showing up and giving us, a pretty good atmosphere for for not a huge game on the schedule and it being at 6 o'clock. I thought they really helped us. But I mean, they were stuck on 7 for a while, and then we had some live ball turnovers that led to some easy ones for them. But I thought our defense was like we didn't just overwhelm with talent. I thought we were in the right spots, and I thought we guarded things well. So I was happy with it. That feels great. The last time we had a guy that was getting triple doubles, the season went great. So Silas is going to get better. I think that's what we need from him. Well, we've been a dominant rebounding team up until last year, and a lot of that had to do with we had great guard rebounders. Cam Spencer was a great guard rebounder. Steph Castle was a great guard rebounder. Andre Jackson was a great guard rebounder. Tristan Newton was a great guard rebounder. So, yeah, I mean, we need that, but we also need the others, to get on the glass with him. We need Solo on the glass. We need Jalen Stewart on the glass. There's a reason why Jaden Ross was plus 24 tonight. The guy was, minus, his three-point shooting. The guy was great tonight. He could have had a triple-double of like 17 points, 10 rebounds, 14 assists because he missed some bunnies. He had some wide open threes. He missed 2 free throws. But he also had 4 steals. I just thought that, again, when the group gets healthy and I thought Eric was great. I just think, when we get all of the people out there, I think the upside of the group is high level. Yeah, I just think that when it's all said and done with this team, there's going to be a cluster of probably when Braylon's back. Obviously we didn't have 20-10. With Taris, we didn't have 20 points, 10 rebounds, 3 blocks, and a dominant force on the court tonight. But when Braylon is back, I think you're just going to see a cluster of probably 8 or 9 guys that are, somewhere between 7 and 15. And I think the strength of this team is going to be the numbers. It's going to be like, that's why I always thought it was probably a little, shades of maybe the 23 team, just because of the depth. I think there's just the depth on this team is the strength. Yeah, I mean, he's got to be. I mean, we need him to be a quarterback, and he's got a lot of weapons on the court. And there's going to be nights where we're going to need him to go get 20 plus because that's what the defense dictates. And then there's going to be, nights where he's going to get guarded a different way, and there's going to be different advantages on the court. And you're going to need him to play like he did tonight. I think that was the growth you saw in T-New, where like he didn't go into a game with any type of particular mindset of how the game was going to go. He allowed the defense to dictate it, like the points to assist, but the defense was always there and the rebounding was always there. I mean, somebody I was going to take him out, and I think Kamani said he needs one more assist to get a triple-double. I said, all right, he's got 30 seconds. If he did, so Kamani was, involved. Yeah, I mean, this guy is going to be so great here, and just this experience that he's dealt with to start the year, just with Taris, with Taris just having some bad luck with injuries has just been so good for him and his development. And I just love the way he approached the game. Like the last game was drop coverage with a 7-2 center, which meant, playing the perimeter a little bit more and shoot the threes. This was a game where they were going to switch and he'd have a physical advantage, and he took his big ass inside and he was able to dominate around the basket. But yeah, I mean, what this is doing for the team and the depth and what we're going to have at center when we get Taris back, I think it's just going to make us so much stronger. Yeah, I thought he was good in there. I think just getting his feet wet. I thought he held up pretty well on defense, and that is like singularly the biggest thing, because I think the guy's really gonna be able to help us on offense. So, it's he's in the mix now that he's been, I guess, kind of christened in a way, out on the court, and I think now. I think now he's a guy that's now competing to get minutes. I think as we get healthier and as he's now entered the mix, guys are going to have to, you're going to like less mistakes on the court, less bad stretches, because I think that there's people coming back to the team soon that, are really good players.
And have you seen improvement in Eric, like even in practice or a
Yeah, he is definitely. I think he's getting better defensively. He's getting better as a rebounder. I mean, listen, this guy's eventually going to be, one of the best offensive weapons you could have at center with the shooting and ability to drive the ball and his size and he's lefty with touch. Yeah, but right now we're teaching him the game, inside out. For us, I think, I think the biggest thing he's got to do is become a guy who could protect the rim a little bit more, become a more ferocious rebounder. But I think this guy's going to be a special player, and eventually he's going to be an NBA player. Yeah, I think people love college basketball. I mean, I think number one because every game is Game 7. Like there's no, um, you know, back-to-back night. Like where I would just say with college basketball in the regular season, non-conference or regular season conference play, like literally every game it feels like Game 7. Like every game feels like that because it's like you're playing to get in the NCAA tournament. You're playing for seeding in the NCAA tournament. Like literally every time you step on the court, every game feels like it's life or death. And people love sports that way. When you go to our Arizona game, our BYU game, games that are happening all across the country, that I'm watching where these big teams are playing against each other. You're a fan and you're at TD Bank, for that game, or you're at Gamble, even though, I'm a sore loser and it sucked losing. But, that was like a awesome game to be at if you're a sports fan. You just don't get that in anywhere but college basketball because every game is life or death, urgency, and that's how people love their sports. Yeah, I think Coach is right. I think college basketball, we just got to market it better. It's got to get covered more. It's got to get covered better. It's morning talk shows should be talking about who's the current best team in the country. I mean, we can't take 10 minutes, 15 minutes on these morning morning talk shows on these big FS1 and ESPN. Now I'm sure I'm going to get crushed on these morning shows now for saying it, but you can't take 10 minutes away from talking about the backup quarterback on the Lions, and talk about college basketball and, like some of the great players. We got this amazing freshman class. Get excited about college basketball before March Madness. It's like the fucking best shit. Yeah, I'm kind of, I'm on the flip side. I actually like when players aren't shooting well, um, not while it's happening. But in my mind, it's like shooters say, all right, I got this bad shooting game or I got this bad shooting stretch out of the way, and now I'm about to go on a heater. So I just think that, the staff's got to get with these guys. We got to make sure we're mechanically, not overdoing it in terms of the coaching and just building up their confidence. Because I do think that, I think they're going to they're getting great shots, and the two of the best shooters that the program has seen. Yeah, so Bray had his first live day yesterday, which it was great to see him out there, and then he recovered well enough to to play one-on-one against the closer Andrew Hurley and Rich Kelly. So with all due respect to those guys, it's probably not simulating Illinois. And I love my son to death. I mean, he's 43-0. I mean, and Rich Kelly, so he's close. And, I think he'll be in practice all week, and it'll be game time decision. And, I think, Taras will be in that same boat. I mean, Taras is feeling great. He's recovering well. I think both guys will be in that game time decision for Friday. It'll be questionable / probable, and what's the other one? Doubtful. Okay. Yeah, I mean, listen, we went through this with Steph, and I can't remember the first game Steph came back for, but yeah, I mean, so I don't. Yeah, he's obviously not going to play 30 minutes. So I do think it's going to be a gradual situation for him to work his way back. I think the good thing is he's going to be able to come off the bench and just try to just kind of help us and not have to carry this big weight. So I think we'll use a similar method of how we brought Steph Castle back, but I know he's dying to get out there. Yeah, he just got stitched up. Yeah, I think we were, I'm a, I think for us, we're at our best when we're somewhere in the top 150 pace of play. Now, I think the Arizona game was a real slugfest, and I think our pace of play dropped significantly coming out of there, and Bryant came in around 280 in terms of just running long possessions of offense. So I just think for us, we're a team that likes to execute in the half court, but I do think with our depth, we do want to get back to that 24 team where 23 teams where we were in transition more. I think our defense is going to keep getting better and better, which it'll put us in that spot. Yeah. I think we easily could have walked out of there, Sam, with 24 assists if we could just make a shot. I love the last two games. We've really taken care of the ball. I think we had 5 turnovers versus Arizona. We had 8 today. We were really bad versus BYU with the ball. I think we had 15 turnovers or 16 turnovers in that game. So ball security is job security, according to Aaron Rodgers. And yeah, I mean, I just don't think we're seeing everything right now. But I think we're going to get there with just these players playing in our system. Malachi, Silas in particular, just playing in our system. Shit, I'm thankful for a lot of things. Thankful for my family. I'm thankful, for all my family. I'm thankful for my wife, my kids. I'm thankful to be the head coach of the 6-time national champion UConn Huskies, to get to represent this incredible state. So I think a lot of times, I get real anxious, I get real nervous the day of the game, and the one thing that kind of gets me over a lot of the anxiety and the nerves is when I start becoming grateful and thankful, for the love of the family I have, and to be able to lead a program that means so much to so many people, and just have a great Thanksgiving to everyone out there. We're going to celebrate our Thanksgiving on Wednesday as a team. We're going to eat what's in the turkey, Bobby? No. What makes people sleepy? Tryptophan. So we're not going to eat the fucking tryptophan on Thursday and be sluggish as shit on Friday. So we're going to eat the tryptophan, the turkey and everything on Wednesday, so that all the tryptophan is out of our system by the time we get to MSG. Here we go.